Your dreams are dying. Every minute you sit there scrolling, waiting, making excuses, your future self is crying out in pain. Because time doesn't care about your comfort. Time doesn't care about your fears. Time just runs out. In this brutal reality, there are two paths. Work like hell now or die drowning in regret later. It's that simple. The most successful people on this planet aren't just talented, they're relentless. While others sleep, they grind. While others quit, they push through the pain. You're about to discover why comfort is actually your enemy. You'll learn the real work ethic behind every success story, not the watered-down version they tell in interviews. I'll show you how to break through the mental barriers holding you back and build your capacity for intense work. Most importantly, you'll understand how to use the fear of future regret as rocket fuel for today's actions. This isn't about working yourself to death. It's about working with such purpose and intensity that when your time comes, you'll look back with pride, not pain. The difference between extraordinary and ordinary is that little extra, and that extra is almost always found in the hours others aren't willing to put in. Ready to stop existing and start living? Let's go. Every day you choose comfort, something dies inside you. Not dramatically. There's no funeral for abandoned dreams. They just fade quietly while Netflix loads the next episode. Comfort is the silent killer of potential. Most people don't recognize this trap until it's too late. They settle into routines, avoiding challenges that make their hearts race. Each time you choose the easy path, your capacity for greatness shrinks. That promotion you didn't pursue because it seemed too stressful, someone else grabbed it. That business idea you had 3 years ago, someone just launched it and made millions. Comfort addiction works exactly like any other addiction. Small doses of ease feel good in the moment, but leave you weaker in the long run. Your brain craves the path of least resistance. Evolution designed you this way. Conserve energy, avoid pain, stay safe. Brilliant for surviving in caves. Terrible for thriving in modern society. Success lives on the other side of discomfort. Every major breakthrough in history came from someone willing to endure what others couldn't. Tesla worked 20-hour days while developing his inventions. Kobe Bryant's training regimen started at 4 a.m. when his competitors were still dreaming. These weren't superhuman people. They simply refused to be seduced by comfort. Average efforts produce average results. This mathematical certainty governs all achievement. When you put in 40% effort, you get 40% results. Yet somehow we expect exceptional outcomes from mediocre inputs. Insanity? Comfort costs more than just missed opportunities. It gradually erodes self-respect. Deep down, you know what you're capable of. Each compromise with comfort creates distance between who you are and who you could be. This gap breeds a special kind of self-loathing that no amount of distraction can erase. Life responds to intensity. The universe rewards committed action. Half measures yield half results. Comfort seekers might avoid temporary pain, but they sentence themselves to permanent mediocrity. Right now, someone out there with less talent, fewer resources, and more obstacles is outworking you. They're hungry enough to push through barriers you consider too hard. While you rationalize things are good enough, they're clawing their way toward excellence. This painful truth should disturb your sleep tonight. Success leaves clues. Painful, exhausting clues that most people ignore. While mass media sells fantasies of overnight success, reality tells a different story. Behind every achievement stands thousands of hours of unwitnessed work. Elon Musk didn't just dream up Tesla and SpaceX. He worked 120-hour weeks, sleeping on factory floors. During Tesla's critical production phases, he didn't see his children for days at a time. This isn't glamorous. This isn't balanced. This is the price tag of extraordinary results. Study any world-class performer and you'll find the same pattern. LeBron James invests $1.5 million annually in his body, with brutal training regimens that would hospitalize average people. J.K. Rowling wrote Harry Potter while living as a struggling single mother, squeezing writing time between childcare and job hunting. Her manuscript was rejected by 12 publishers before someone took a chance. What separates these individuals isn't talent, it's work capacity. They've developed the ability to endure discomfort for extended periods. While competitors quit at hour 8, they push through hour 12. When others convince themselves they've reached their limit, these rare individuals redefine what's possible. Most people dramatically underestimate the sheer volume of work required for significant success. They see the end point without appreciating the journey. Michelangelo spent 4 years on his back painting the Sistine Chapel, developing permanent neck damage. Steve Jobs called 8-hour workdays part-time employment. These weren't balanced individuals. They were obsessively committed to their missions. Success doesn't come from what you do occasionally. It emerges from what you do consistently when nobody's watching, when you don't feel like it. Beyoncé rehearses dance routines until her feet bleed. Michael Phelps trained 365 days a year for 5 straight years, including holidays. Their competitors trained hard too, just not hard enough. This level of commitment requires sacrifices most aren't willing to make. Family events missed, friendships neglected, personal comforts abandoned. While Instagram portrays success as luxurious vacations and champagne toasts, the true path runs through dark, lonely hours of focused labor that nobody applauds. Society celebrates work-life balance while the truly successful embrace work-life integration. They don't separate their passion from their existence. They become their mission. This doesn't mean happiness is sacrificed. Rather, they find deeper fulfillment in the pursuit of mastery than in fleeting pleasures others chase. Their satisfaction comes from pushing boundaries, not avoiding discomfort. Mind games destroy more potential than any external obstacle ever could. Inside every person exists an invisible wall, a psychological barrier that screams enough long before the body actually reaches its limits. This barrier doesn't protect you. It imprisons you within artificial boundaries of what seems possible or reasonable. Science has repeatedly proven this phenomenon. Studies with endurance athletes show they typically quit at around 60% of their actual physical capacity. Something in the brain triggers alarm signals, creating the sensation of complete exhaustion when significant reserves remain untapped. This survival mechanism, designed to conserve energy for prehistoric emergencies, now sabotages modern achievement. Society reinforces these limitations constantly. From childhood, messages bombard us about healthy limits and reasonable expectations. Well-meaning parents and teachers warn against trying too hard. Media celebrates work-life balance while subtly demonizing intense effort as toxic hustle culture. These influences program mental software that automatically restricts output. Breaking through requires recognizing these barriers for what they are: outdated neural programming, not concrete walls. Navy SEALs use the 40% rule. When your mind screams that you're done, you've actually only used about 40% of your available resources. The remaining 60% waits on the other side of mental surrender. Discomfort itself becomes the enemy in a comfort-addicted world. Physical strain, mental fatigue, emotional pressure. These sensations trigger immediate retreat in most people. Yet true growth only begins at the point where comfort ends. This explains why so few achieve greatness. They never push past the initial wave of discomfort where transformation happens. Reframing hard work revolutionizes performance. Those who view intense effort as punishment naturally seek to avoid it. Those who recognize it as the path to freedom embrace it. This mindset shift turns "I have to work" into "I get to work." Elite performers don't just tolerate difficulty, they actively seek it, understanding that resistance builds strength. Fear of failure creates another mental roadblock. Many people unconsciously limit effort to preserve excuses. Giving 50% allows them to say, "I could have succeeded if I really tried." Giving 100% risks discovering personal limitations. This self-protection strategy guarantees mediocrity while avoiding the pain of full commitment followed by potential disappointment. Identity plays a crucial role in breaking barriers. People who define themselves as exceptional workers naturally push harder than those who see hard work as something they occasionally do. When relentless effort becomes core identity rather than occasional behavior, performance multiplies. Champions don't decide whether to work hard each day. Their identity makes the decision automatic. Work capacity functions exactly like muscle. It grows under stress and atrophies with disuse. Most people never discover their true capacity because they live within comfortable boundaries. Breaking these limits requires systematic overreaching, pushing just beyond current abilities consistently over time. This practice literally rewires neural pathways, Training the brain to perceive previously impossible workloads is normal. Progressive overload works for mental effort just as it does for physical training. Starting with 45 minutes of deep focus, then extending to 60, then 90, gradually conditions the mind for marathon sessions of productivity. World-class performers build this capacity through daily practice, not occasional heroic efforts. They consistently do more than feels comfortable, creating adaptation over time. Sleep deprivation and burnout masquerade as dedication, but actually destroy capacity. Strategic recovery separates elite performers from workaholics. Intense effort must be paired with equally serious recovery, quality sleep, nutrition, and mental decompression. This balance allows sustainable performance at levels that would break most people. Warren Buffett protects his cognitive capacity by sleeping 8 hours nightly. His edge comes not from sleepless nights, but from maintaining peak mental function decade after decade. Environment dramatically impacts work capacity. Proximity to high performers automatically raises standard. This explains why Olympic training centers concentrate talent. Athletes naturally push harder when surrounded by elite peers. Creating an environment with minimal distractions and maximum accountability structurally supports increased output. Physical spaces, digital environments, and social circles either amplify or diminish capacity. Deep work skills multiply effective output. Most people mistake activity for productivity, filling hours with shallow tasks while avoiding the demanding cognitive work that creates actual value. Learning to sustain concentration on complex problems for extended periods represents a superpower in a distracted world. This skill requires deliberate practice, starting with 30-minute blocks and gradually extending duration while eliminating interruptions. Tracking output creates accountability and reveals true capacity. Data doesn't lie. Measuring productive hours, key metrics, or specific outputs brings clarity to performance. Many discover they wildly overestimate their actual productive time. Top performers often track their effective work in detail, allowing precise optimization rather than relying on subjective feelings of productivity. Stress adaptation builds resilience over time. Initial exposure to high-pressure situations often triggers fight-or-flight responses, racing heart, foggy thinking, performance anxiety. Repeated exposure gradually normalizes these conditions. Air traffic controllers develop the ability to make life-or-death decisions under extreme pressure through thousands of hours of progressive stress adaptation. This process, while uncomfortable, expands capacity for performing under conditions that paralyze others. Psychological techniques accelerate capacity development. Breaking overwhelming tasks into concrete chunks prevents mental shutdown. Visualizing successful completion primes neural pathways for performance. Strategic self-talk replaces limiting narratives with empowering frameworks. These mental tools don't replace hard work, but optimize its application and sustainability. Regret ranks as life's most poisonous emotion. Yet properly harnessed, it transforms into rocket fuel for extraordinary achievement. Studies of end-of-life patients reveal their deepest regrets center not on what they did, but what they failed to attempt. I wish I had tried. Echoes from deathbeds worldwide. This universal human experience can be weaponized, converting potential future pain into present motivation. Forward projection creates immediate emotional impact. Vividly experiencing the sting of future regret today, before it materializes, generates action when motivation wanes. Visiting nursing homes and speaking with elderly residents who abandoned their dreams provides visceral lessons no motivational speech can match. Their eyes reflect the haunting reality, awaiting those who choose comfort over courage. Death meditation practices have driven exceptional performance for centuries. Ancient Stoics contemplated mortality daily. Samurai warriors lived as if already dead. Steve Jobs famously asked himself each morning whether he would be satisfied with his life's work if today were his last. This morbid-seeming practice strips away trivial concerns and focuses energy on legacy-defining work. Accountability architecture converts abstract regrets into concrete consequences. Public commitments, financial stakes, and reputation risks create immediate downsides for procrastination. David Goggins, former Navy SEAL, Posts his training schedule publicly, ensuring social pressure reinforces internal drive. Athletes hire coaches not primarily for knowledge, but for accountability that prevents future regret. Contrast visualization techniques highlight the gap between current trajectory and potential outcomes. Seeing two futures side by side, one where comfort prevails, another where discomfort leads to greatness, makes abstract consequences tangible. Olympic athletes mentally rehearse both victory and defeat scenarios, allowing the pain of potential failure to drive preparation intensity. Regret minimization frameworks guide decision-making during critical inflection points. Jeff Bezos famously used this approach when deciding whether to start Amazon, projecting himself forward to age 80, and asking which choice would minimize regret. This future-focused perspective cuts through immediate fears and clarifies correct but difficult paths. Time compression exercises collapse decades into moments. When viewed as finite weeks rather than endless days, life's brevity becomes undeniable. Each week spent in mediocrity represents irreplaceable time lost forever. This perspective transforms someday thinking into urgent action, knowing that postponed dreams often become permanent regrets. Catastrophic thinking, deliberately visualizing complete failure, paradoxically drives productive action. By confronting worst-case scenarios directly, their power to paralyze diminishes. Athletes who mentally rehearse falling behind in competition prepare responses rather than being blindsided. This practice converts vague fears into specific challenges with concrete solutions. Peak regret moments from past experiences contain motivational gold. Nearly everyone carries memories of opportunities missed through hesitation or fear. Rather than burying these painful recollections, effective performers extract their emotional energy, channeling past disappointments into determination that prevents history from repeating. Blind intensity without direction creates exhausted fools, not successful visionaries. Working hard means nothing without working right. Purpose transforms brutal effort from punishment into privilege. The difference between a prisoner breaking rocks and a sculptor creating art. Both swing hammers for hours, but only one builds something meaningful. This critical distinction separates those who burn out from those who transform industries. Alignment with deeper values multiplies sustainable output capacity. Tasks connected to core purpose access emotional reserves unavailable to mercenary effort. Marathon runners push through pain barriers using meaning that transcends physical discomfort. Scientists work through nights fueled by curiosity and contribution rather than obligation. This purpose-driven intensity outperforms duty-bound labor in both quality and sustainability. Strategic intensity outperforms brute force approaches. Working 16 mindless hours produces less value than 8 hours of perfectly directed effort. Effectiveness must precede efficiency. Digging a hole in the wrong location with maximum intensity simply creates an impressive hole where none was needed. Clarity of purpose provides the coordinates for applying effort where it creates maximum impact. Burnout destroys countless promising careers precisely because intensity without purpose depletes the human spirit. The body sends warning signals before complete collapse. Chronic fatigue, emotional numbness, cynicism, reduced performance. These indicators signal misalignment between effort and meaning rather than simply working too hard. Many driven professionals miss these warnings, mistaking exhaustion for virtue. Deep satisfaction comes from hard work directed toward meaningful aims. Flow states, those periods of complete immersion where time seems to vanish, occur most reliably during challenging work connected to purpose. This psychological phenomenon explains why purpose-driven intensity feels energizing, while purposeless effort drains life force. The hardest working people often report the highest life satisfaction precisely because their effort connects to meaning. Intensity becomes sustainable when focused on impact rather than activity. Measuring value created rather than hours worked shifts perspective from input to output. This results-focused mindset cuts unnecessary effort while intensifying productive work. Many workaholics waste energy on low-value tasks that create the appearance of dedication without proportional results. Purpose-driven performers ruthlessly eliminate these distractions. Cyclical intensity outperforms constant grinding. Elite athletes alternate between periods of maximum effort and strategic recovery. Creative professionals move between deep immersion and reflective distance. This rhythm sustains performance over decades rather than months. Passion without pacing leads to spectacular but short-lived performance. Purpose provides patience for the marathon while intensity fuels sprints at key moments. Values alignment prevents wasted energy on mismatched pursuits. Many driven individuals apply massive effort toward goals that, once achieved, bring hollow satisfaction. Material success without meaningful connection creates wealthy but empty lives. Purpose provides the compass for directing intense effort toward achievements that bring genuine fulfillment rather than temporary validation. Heart-centered ambition outlasts ego-driven intensity. When purpose anchors effort, resilience multiplies. Setbacks that would derail purely ego-motivated strivers become mere obstacles to purpose-driven performers. This emotional durability explains why some maintain extraordinary effort through decades, while others flame out quickly. Purpose transforms have to into get to, sustaining intensity through difficulties that break those working solely for external rewards. We stand at a crossroads every single day. One path leads to comfort, mediocrity, and eventual regret. The other demands everything you have: blood, sweat, tears, but leads to a life of meaning, achievement, and pride. The choice seems obvious when stated plainly, yet billions choose comfort daily, surrendering their potential one easy decision at a time. This isn't about glorifying misery or promoting burnout. This is about facing a brutal truth most people spend their lives avoiding. Greatness requires sacrifice. There is no path to extraordinary results that doesn't involve extraordinary effort. The universe doesn't reward wishful thinking. It responds only to action, consistent, intense, purposeful action. Look around at those who've achieved what you want. Behind their success lies a mountain of unseen work. The entrepreneur who seems to have made it overnight spent years failing in obscurity before breaking through. The artist whose work now sells for millions faced countless rejections before being discovered. They all share one quality: they refuse to let comfort dictate their choices. Society has sold us a dangerous lie that balance should be our highest aim. But history's most impactful individuals were rarely balanced. They were obsessed. They were relentless. They worked when others slept. They solved problems others ignored. They pushed boundaries others accepted. And yes, they sacrificed temporary pleasures for lasting impact. Psychological barriers will tell you to slow down, take it easy, be reasonable. These voices don't protect you, they imprison you. Your mind will surrender long before your body and spirit truly need to. Breaking through these artificial limits reveals reservoirs of potential you never knew existed. The greatest battle isn't against external competition, but against internal limitation. Building work capacity happens daily through consistent stretching of comfort zones. Each time you push beyond what feels possible, you reset your baseline. What once seemed exhausting becomes normal. What once seemed impossible becomes challenging. What once seemed unthinkable becomes difficult but doable. This progression isn't magic, it's the result of systematic effort over time. Future regret is a preventable disease. The pain you feel pushing yourself today pales compared to the agony of looking back on a life of untapped potential. Deathbeds rarely feature people wishing they'd watched more Netflix or scrolled more social media. They're filled with painful recognition of roads not taken, risks not accepted, effort not given. Purpose transforms suffering into meaningful sacrifice. Working like hell without direction creates burnout. Working like hell towards something that ignites your soul creates legacy. Find what matters so deeply that the pain of discipline becomes worthwhile. Let purpose turn hard work from burden into privilege. Time moves in one direction only. Each moment spent in mediocrity is gone forever. Each opportunity hesitated away never returns. While comfort feels good today, it compounds into regret tomorrow. Intensity might hurt now, but it compounds into achievement, impact, and pride. Most people will never push themselves to their true limits. They'll live within the boundaries of what feels reasonable, acceptable, and comfortable. They'll achieve reasonable, acceptable, and comfortable results. They'll look back with reasonable, acceptable, and comfortable satisfaction, mixed with quiet wonder about what might have been. Is that enough for you? If you're still watching, I suspect it isn't. Something inside you knows you're capable of more. Something inside you hungers for impact, for excellence, for the deep satisfaction that comes only from giving everything you have to something that matters. That voice deserves to be heard above the chorus of mediocrity surrounding you. Starting tomorrow isn't good enough. Starting next week isn't good enough. The gap between intention and action is where dreams go to die. The moment after finishing this video represents a choice point that will echo through your future. Will you return to comfortable habits, or will this be the moment everything changed? Work ethic can't be borrowed, bought, or faked. No one can give you the discipline to push when it hurts, or the resilience to continue when others quit. These qualities must be forged through daily choices that prioritize growth over comfort, impact over ease, excellence over adequacy. Each decision either builds this capacity or diminishes it. The world doesn't reward people for what they know or what they intend. It rewards what they do consistently over time. Execution separates dreamers from achievers. Plans mean nothing without the intense effort required to manifest them. Your potential remains worthless until converted into performance through work. Competition grows fiercer daily. Technological advancement means average performance no longer guarantees average results. It ensures below average outcomes. The middle is disappearing. Either commit to excellence through extraordinary effort or accept declining relevance in an increasingly competitive landscape. Physical limits can be transcended, mental barriers can be shattered, but only if you're willing to endure the discomfort of growth. Your future self is shaped entirely by your willingness to embrace this discomfort today. Temporary pain creates permanent progress. Temporary comfort creates permanent regret. This message isn't for everyone. Some will dismiss it as extreme, unhealthy, or unrealistic. That's fine. Extraordinary results have never come from following conventional wisdom or comfortable paths. The majority will always choose ease over impact, creating massive opportunity for those willing to work like hell. Make no mistake, working like hell doesn't guarantee success. Nothing. But not working like hell almost certainly guarantees regret. The question isn't whether intense effort will lead to your specific dream exactly as imagined. The question is whether you can live with yourself knowing you didn't give everything you had to what mattered most. Time reveals truth. 20 years from now, the results of your daily choices will be unmistakable in your achievements, your impact, your satisfaction, and your regrets. Those results are being determined right now, in these moments, through decisions that seem small but compound dramatically over time. My challenge is simple but demanding. Work like hell. Not forever, not without purpose, not without rest, but with an intensity and consistency that separates you from those who merely wish for better outcomes without accepting the price of achieving them. Push beyond what seems reasonable. Silence the voices of limitation. Embrace the temporary pain of growth over the permanent pain of regret. Life responds to deserving. It yields its greatest rewards to those who demonstrate through persistent action that they want it most. Not through words, wishes, or intentions, through work. Intense, focused, purposeful work directed at worthy goals. This is the path to a life of achievement rather than a life of quiet desperation. The decision is yours, as it always has been. Choose well. If this message resonated with you, take action right now by hitting that like button and subscribing to our channel. We're building a community of people committed to extraordinary effort and extraordinary results. People who refuse to settle for mediocrity or accept artificial limitations. People who would rather work like hell than die regretting. Every week, we deliver content designed to keep you pushing beyond comfort, beyond average, beyond what others think possible. No fluff, no empty motivation, just practical strategies and uncomfortable truths that drive real results. Subscribe now and join us on this journey toward your highest potential. The work starts now.